Yeah, we're not going to teach you about bureaucracy. We're going to talk about getting rid of it. So there's all these incredible technologies out there. Somebody was in the kitchen asking me if the tea kettle is a smart kettle. I think Ahmed is working on something, writing about blockchain. And many of you in this room have been parts of conversations about how to apply these technologies to development. So it's really amazing what we can do. But how come this is still happening? Have you ever spent hours at the DMV or some other public agency in this country and been told after waiting for 2 hours that you didn't bring the right document? How is that possible? And maybe they had a website, or maybe the website didn't explain it correctly. Okay, and it's even worse in developing countries. So imagine going to 5 DMVs every time you have to pay your taxes, which by the way is every month in Tunisia. And every time you have to export a shipment, and I mean literally every time the truck crosses the border, which is many times per week. So we have a company that does something 20,000 times a year. It's kind of like, have we forgotten about something? Are there some really practical tasks we need to work on before we deploy all of these incredibly powerful technologies, and just take some basic technologies and organize them? I think this is now over to you.
So we at Just Results, we try to make sense of these unclear and often convoluted administrative processes that exist in many of these developing countries. And we try to simplify them down into something that's as efficient as possible for business owners or entrepreneurs or just regular citizens that are having to do all this. So what we're doing is essentially boiling down the 5 trips that we had to do to the DMV, and we're putting it into one simple, clear application process where you don't have to go run to this building and this building and figure out which forms are what. And then once we have this very clear application process, we then put it into an app. And our app is called Z-Form, which Lara will give you a little sneak preview of.
Z-Form was born during COVID as it focused us. We had a really broad vision about e-government, and I was pitching it to investors. And it was all good, but at a certain point, we had to kind of get really specific. So, how many forms do you actually fill out every week for all different purposes? Why are there so many? And we're making it on a mobile, even though you should be able to use it on a desktop. And there's going to be times when you're only going to do batch processing or something, but it's got to be simple. And our interface is for business specifically. So the couple of procedures that you see here are all about things that you have to do as a business. This is based on a pilot we're actually implementing right now in Tunis. But it could be used also for things like births and deaths, weddings. We tell you up front before you do it what it's going to be like. We tell you as you're doing it how far you've gotten in. You can always save, you can go out, you can go in, this is yours. So once you understand how it's going to happen, you don't have to actually see that screen again, but you can see it when you want. This is one of the keys, which is for complex processes like a construction permit, which is not one transaction, it's like 40. And there's inspections and there's this and there's that. We kind of have boiled down what are the things that the government needs to know about your project. And based on those, you may have to submit certain information or certain documents at a certain time. And then you upload them. And we've kind of standardized. There's some screens that are missing because we're still working on them. But after you upload your documents, you're going to sign electronically, which is first time in Tunisia, without having to actually go to the agency and pay. And then what happens?
So we're talking about the benefits. If I'm an entrepreneur that's in a developing country and I'm trying to start a business, I'm now no longer having to run around to figure this out, or I now no longer have to pay this person that I was paying to go figure it out for me. So I'm saving time, I'm saving money, and because so many businesses are doing this, these savings are multiplied to all of these entrepreneurs that are now not having to run around, and they're now able to devote all this time to their business and actually making it more productive. And when you're not just doing, starting a business, you're able to apply this to even more procedures. This is scaled. And say I'm now needing to, for example, find some tax documents and submit it to the government. or I need to register property. All of these tasks take a lot of work. And if we have it all in an app, people are going to save a lot of time.
So in countries and situations where businesses may spend as much time as half of the week dealing with government, when you free up that time and the money that's involved, you're going to get more productivity, more growth. Hopefully it's green growth, but if you're better handling your environmental impact study process, it will be. You're going to have more investment coming into the system and also more local domestic investment. Usually small firms and local firms are the ones that are the most kind of hassled by these procedures. Large ones can hire expensive lawyers to take care of it for them. And then the final sort of impact of all this is jobs, right? That businesses are going to hire more people because they're producing more, they're selling more, and they're getting more investment. So those are sort of the aggregate economic benefits. There's a host of other things we can talk about at the government level, but we wanted to keep it simple for you.
Yeah, and we are so happy that we're able to present because we are currently implementing a pilot project in Tunisia, which will hopefully be done in a couple months. So.
Thank you. Amazing.